This episode of Handyguys TV is sponsored by the Handyguys Podcast Store. Just go to handyguyspodcast.com and click on Store, and you'll find the tools that the Handyguys recommend.
Welcome to the Handyguys Podcast, where we work together on that honey-do list. Here are the Handyguys, Brian and Paul.
Brian, it's that time of year where I need to sharpen my mower blade. Can you show me a few different methods on how to do it?
Sure, Paul. Let's go out in the garage and we'll give it a shot.
All right, let's have a garage time. Okay, we're up in the garage and it's time to sharpen our mower blades. But the first thing you have to do, of course, is remove it from the mower. Here I am removing the blade from the mower, and the key thing here is you want to put a clamp on your mower when you're removing the bolt so that the blade doesn't spin. You don't want to accidentally start your mower. That would be very dangerous. My mower, of course, is hard enough to start. I don't think I could start it accidentally. And I got the blade removed. And so now I'm going to have Brian show us and demonstrate to us 3 different methods for sharpening your blade, something you should probably do every mowing season so that you get a better cut. It's better for your grass, better for your mower. And so Brian, why don't you take over and give us a little demo?
Okay, here I've put Paul's mower blade into a vise, and I have a file. And the trick with sharpening a mower blade is you want to follow the angle that the factory puts on there. And you want to file. You also want to file the back edge flat. If you've got a lot of heavy nicks or like a big divot, you may actually need to file that down flat and then come back and put your edge on the mower or on the blade. But what I'm going to do, I'm into power tools. So enough with the hand file. There's 2 other tools you can use. The first one you can use is a sander like this. So Paul, I'm going to take the sander to your mower blade.
What kind of sander is that?
This is a little Delta band sander. And again, the same principle applies. You're going to follow the angle that the factory puts on the blade. You ready? I have a little more work to do. There's some divots there, but you get the idea. I would go until I had a nice sharp edge. There's going to be a curled over edge. Then I'll come over flat on the back, and I'll take that curled over edge off. But let's show the typical grinder. Most people aren't going to have a sander like that, so we're going to go with a bench grinder. Always use your eye and ear protection, as they say. On this particular grinder, I've got 2 wheels. I've got a coarse wheel and a fine wheel. I got this at an auction for next to nothing. Here we go. The mulching blades are a little tricky because it's not perfectly straight, but you'll want to maintain a consistent angle, work on it until you get divots and flat spots like that out. Now, what's also important with a mower blade is to make sure that it's balanced properly. So look what I have right above my grinder here, Paul. I have a nail sticking out. And what you want to do is make sure when you're done putting that edge on, it's perfectly level when it's in the center screw. That's a simple way to determine it's balanced. If it's not, for instance, we just sharpened over here and took a little bit of metal off, but we haven't sharpened at all on this side. So when I sharpen here, it's going to lighten this side up, and that's going to be sitting like that. It's not going to be level. So notice from the factory, quite often you'll see these little nicks in the corner. So if I want to take a little weight off of one side to balance the blade, I do that on the grinder as well. So balancing the blade is important. It prolongs the life of your mower. If it's out of balance, the mower will wobble even just a little bit, which will damage the bearings and the shaft coming from the motor. So I'm just taking a little bit of metal off, and that sits a little more level now.
All right, so there you have it. One thing we didn't mention in the video is to make sure you just disconnect your spark plug. That's an easy way to make sure it won't start when you remove the blade from the mower.
I'd like to see that happen. Someone actually starting a mower with a wrench on the blade.
That would not be a good thing.
No,
but
it would be
I
bad.
put a block there. You can use a block of wood. You can use the clamp like I did, but it's not real difficult to remove. And there you have it. There's some methods you can try out to get your blade sharpened for the mowing season.
All right.